What's going on YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now we're sitting at 6,472. We're up 1.02%. What I want to do is start in here on the 1 hour time frame, and we're actually going to work back today because there's some detail that I want to get into with us here. And guys, what we're looking at now, we found important support right off around $5,800. We'll call it 5,843, right in this range. And since then, we've had a little short-term uptrend that we've been dealing with, and we made it up to around $6,600 is going to be our overhead resistance now. And the reason that I'm labeling this is Bitcoin's about to move again. These candles are getting extremely tight again, and we're consolidating sideways. So what we're going to see is if in the short term, this is going to want to continue into an uptrend to where we can come up and try to test that $6,800. This whole area of chop where we fought back and forth, where we previously had been, this is going to be a tough area to get up and over, and we're going to need a lot of volume out of that. So we're looking at this and we're wondering if this is going to be some type of a flag pattern, which we'll zoom into this, and we're going to have a nice strong break to the upside, or if this is just going to be a failure here at around $6,600 and we're going to start dropping back down to that $5,800 area. So we're kind of in this channel bouncing back and forth, almost between that $6,600 and $5,800 right now. And what you can see is the volume is low, and that's typically what happens when the candles get extremely tight. So what you can see here is we basically had our big flagpole where we moved straight up, came on some heavier volume as well, and now typically if we are going to have another strong move to the upside, you'll see the volume drop as we consolidate either sideways or down a little bit like we're doing right now. So you can kind of see how the volume right down in here is lower, but we did have a pretty big sell-off at this bearish engulfing candle, and you can see a long wick when we tried to get up to around roughly $6,630 is what we made it up to, and that was previous resistance, the bottom of all this chop down here. So that's what I'm saying. This would take a lot of volume for us to get up and over this, and we're going to see if this is where the Bitcoin bulls are going to defend. If not, then it's going to be tough, guys, because we could start dropping down. If we lose 63.84, then we're going to look down to around $6,200, and then it'd be down around that 58.43. But right now it's just, I wanted to put this out there saying that the candles or Bitcoin is about to move. Whenever it gets tight like this, just like we talked about up in here around this trend line, when I knew, or I put out, guys, the candles are getting tight, a break's going to happen. You can see we had this long, very drawn out, this is a powerful break. We went from $6,700 all the way down to $6,000. That's a huge move there, and that happened in about 6 hours. Then we continuously went even lower than that. So this is where we really need to protect ourselves, guys. And what I wanted to put in here for you was alarms and alerts. So for me, my first alert, I'm going to put it at 6,556, and that's going to be to the upside. I want to be alerted so that I can start to watch around that $6,600 area and see if we're going to start being able to get up to that $6,800, $6,900, even $7,000 to try to challenge that. So that's my upside alert, and you can also see I still have an alert up here around $7,000, and that's the top here. Now to the downside, I want to be alerted if we go below, guys, roughly, I'm going to put it even on right here on this moving average. And we're going to put an alert on the 50. I want to stay up above the 50 on the 1 hour time frame right now, and that's going to be at $6,297. So let's also create an alarm there. And this is what I want you to do on your charts as well. That's why I'm going through this with you. So if we start dropping down below that, I'll be alerted, and then I can start looking down to some lower levels to potentially step into a long. But right now, guys, I'm just not there. This is a tough pattern that we're dealing with. We still have some lower volume. You'd still like to see much heavier volume. So right here we are getting hit right now, guys. Let's see why that went off. My apologies, but up in this area we have had some profit taking. You can see a lot of fight, a lot of like spinning top candles, doji candles, just consolidation moving sideways. So this is the time. Either bulls are going to step in and push us up hard, or this is where the bears are going to step in right now. But the break is coming, so I wanted you to be prepared, and I wanted you to put those alarms and alerts in. So next we're going to step out to the 4 hour time frame. We're just going to work our way back here. And if you guys get some from these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Appreciate being here with you all today. So on the 4 hour time frame, we are flirting with that 50 moving average. We're fighting back and forth with it right now, and that is roughly at 6,000. I'm sorry, guys, having trouble reading this. 4,447, I believe. 6,447. So that's an area that we want to try to stay up above so we can get up here and back test that 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame at $7,059. But you can also see all the overhead resistance that we're dealing with right now. So this is still overall, yes, we had the trend line break, but we've really just been kind of moving sideways. We dropped down, then have been consolidating sideways. So we're still waiting for direction. This is a sticky spot that we're in right now. And if we go out to the 1-day time frame, and we're also going to look at some indicators here on the 1-day time frame. All right, so on the 1-day time frame, we do have our death cross that has taken place. We've been paying attention to that. We've been watching it. We had our trend line break. What we ended up putting in yesterday was a bullish engulfing candle, and it came off support right here where we previously had a bullish engulfing candle. So what we need is continuation out of this, but we need that heavier volume to be able to get up through these levels, guys. That's going to be really important. I'm going to continue to harp on it, but we're just really going to have to wait and see. You can see a smaller day candle is forming, so we're going to have to wait for the close. That's going to be in about another 4 hours or so. So we're going to wait for the close and see where that is, but we did get our bullish engulfing candle there, and we're going to see if that, guys, is going to be our higher low that we set before we try to move back up and set a higher high. But it's just a tough area that we're in right now, because we do have these things like the death cross taking place over top of us. We do have the lower volume as the price was rising, so there are some things that are going against us, and I just want you to be aware of that. So in terms of the MACD, we'll take a look at this. With our MACD, we had our bullish cross. Histogram has been just basically neutral, just moving sideways, but we have been in the positive there, so that's what you want to see. Next, we want to take a look at our stock RSI. Stock RSI, we did cross to the downside up here with some short day candles. We're at 82 and 77, but we're trying to get another upside cross here. But also, again, we want that to come on more volume, and we are starting to get to a little bit overextended levels there on the stock. But with the stock, you can stay pinned out, guys, at 100 and 100 sometimes for even 3 weeks. I've seen that before, so that's why I use it basically price action first, and I'll go off moving averages, Fibonacci, support, resistance, trend lines, all that stuff. Then I'll start looking at my indicators. So price is king for me. Price is king of the chart for me. And then in terms of our RSI, we are at 46 and 46.67 right now, and we've just been moving a little bit more neutral, moving sideways, and that would correlate with like what we're seeing on the 1 hour time frame, where we're just moving sideways right now, and we're waiting to see what type of break we end up getting. If it's going to be that upside and it's going to be aggressive, or if it's going to be that downside, guys. That's what we're looking at. But I wanted to get into a few more things here. My computer's running a little bit slower. We've been having some internet trouble out here with everybody being on the internet. It's been a little bit tougher, so it still did come up here. But on the 1 hour time frame, we have been fighting with this 200 moving average as well. So that's definitely something we want to watch to see if we hold that for support. If not, like we said, we'd be down to this 50 where we have that alarmer alert in for us to the downside. And then if we look at Bitcoin, and we're going to take a look here at TradingView and see what the technical analysis is looking like on this. So what we're having on the 1 day time frame, we're having 11 for a sell signal, we're having a 9 for a neutral, we're having an 8 for a buy. Oscillators, we have a 2 for a sell, 8 neutral, 1 buy, and then moving averages, we have a 9 for a sell, 1 neutral, and 7 buy. And what you can see down here, guys, in the shorter time frames, in terms of like the 5 day, the 10 day, our moving averages are showing buy signals. So in the shorter term, just how we had that nice little move up, it's showing some buy signals. But in terms of the longer term, where you're looking at that even 20 and that 30 and that 50 and the 100 and the 200, we're showing all sell signals. And then for oscillators, we're showing a lot of neutral here. A little bit of sell, a little bit of buy, back and forth, but mostly neutral. So that's why I said this is just a sticky spot that we're still in. But as these candles continuously get smaller and these candles continuously get tighter, that's when you're going to look for one of these breaks. And that's what I always look for, guys. Whenever I see candles, even right in here, you can see how tight they're getting in that fight that they're having, and then you'll have that downside break. And there's probably a few more examples I could show you in here, or we'll have to go over at some point. But whenever the candles get extremely tight and the volume dries up, I'm just trying to look for some examples here for you guys. That's when you know that a break's going to be coming. I mean, in here, there's a lot of tight chop back and forth, and then you can see we almost had like one of those false breakouts, went up, broke some key resistance levels, and then right after that, we just dumped hard. So, guys, that's a fake out breakout right there, and that can happen. That even came on big volume, so you say, all right, that's it, that's the time, and then we had that fake breakout, and that's why you have to put in your stop losses. It's extremely important. But just like over here, if we move some of those out of the way, you can see how tight the candles are as we move sideways, and then they had that break to the downside. So whenever things get extremely tight, that's a clue for you that a break's going to be coming, and we're just going to have to wait to see if in the long term or the short term what's going to win here. Are the bulls going to pop her up there, or the bears going to start dropping her to the downside? But we are almost in one of those little flag patterns. We would like to see a little more stick of volume there, but we're just going to have to see which way it breaks, guys. So that's what I wanted to bring to you today. I hope you get something from this. I really like going through on the detail, like the 1 hour, and working our way back to the 1 day. I think that's something that's pretty cool to do, because that's how I like to trade. I really like to get those good entries on the 1 hour time frame. So, guys, I'll stop rambling, but just want to bring this to you today. I hope you get something from it. God bless you all. Take care, and also stay safe out there. Take care, my friends.